Hello, dear friend. Tonight you have nowhere to rush. Nothing needs to be finished. No questions need answers. Simply allow this quiet evening to unfold, one gentle moment at a time. Take a slow breath in and let it drift away as softly as a wave returning to the sea. Now, imagine standing on a lonely stretch of coastline. The year is 1898. The world feels slower here. The sea stretches endlessly beneath a sky painted with fading shades of blue and silver. A cool breeze carries the scent of salt, old cedar wood, and wildflowers growing between smooth gray stones. The waves move without hurry. They rise, they fall, they whisper against the shore like an old lullaby that has never been forgotten. Far across the water, you notice a small island. Upon that island stands a tall stone lighthouse, strong, quiet, patient, as it has been for longer than anyone can remember. A single warm light glows near one of its windows. That light belongs to the lighthouse keeper. His name is Elias. He has lived beside the sea for many peaceful years. Every evening, at exactly the same gentle hour, he follows the same comforting routine. He sweeps the old wooden floor. He boils fresh water for tea. He opens every window so the sea breeze may wander quietly through the lighthouse. Then, before darkness fully arrives, he climbs the long spiral staircase, one slow step after another, never rushing, never looking back. The stone walls hold the warmth of countless summers. The wooden handrail feels smooth beneath his hand, polished by years of peaceful evenings. Outside, the first stars begin appearing, one, then another, until the whole sky slowly fills with tiny lights. Fishermen sailing many miles away often tell a curious story. They say, on nights when the moon is full, Elias carries a tiny glass lantern to the highest balcony. He raises it toward the silver moon, and somehow the lantern begins to glow, as though it has quietly gathered a little piece of moonlight itself. No one knows if the story is true, and perhaps it doesn't matter. Some stories exist simply because they make the world feel a little gentler. Tonight, you will walk beside Elias. You will hear the quiet sea, feel the cool night air, and discover why every peaceful evening begins with a single light shining patiently across the sleeping ocean. The evening had now settled gently over the sea. The last colors of sunset slowly disappeared beyond the horizon, leaving behind a sky of deep blue, filled with quiet stars. Elias stood beside the old wooden table. Upon it rested a small lantern. It was unlike any lantern a traveler might carry. Its glass was perfectly clear, softly curved, and delicate enough to catch even the faintest light. Every evening, before climbing the lighthouse tower, Elias carefully polished the glass with a simple linen cloth, not because it needed to shine, but because he believed every peaceful task deserved patience. Outside, the sea breathed slowly against the rocks below. Wave after wave, never hurried, never late. Somewhere in the darkness, a lonely owl called once. Then silence returned. Elias smiled gently. He opened the lighthouse door. The cool night air welcomed him. The scent of salt, fresh pine, and damp stone filled the evening. Above him, the full moon rose slowly into the sky. Round, bright, peaceful. Its silver light rested softly upon the ocean, turning every gentle wave into flowing glass. Elias lifted the little lantern with both hands. He climbed the final narrow staircase, one careful step, then another. At last, he reached the highest balcony. From here, The sea stretched farther than the eye could see. The stars seemed close enough to touch. He closed his eyes for a quiet moment. He listened to the wind, to the waves, to the peaceful silence between every sound. Then, very slowly, he raised the lantern toward the moon. No bright flash appeared. No magic burst across the sky. Only a gentle silver glow, so soft that it almost seemed imagined. The glass became warmer in his hands. Tiny reflections danced quietly inside, like moonlight floating upon calm water. Elias whispered only 4 simple words. "Thank you for tonight." Nothing more. The sea answered with another quiet wave. The wind carried the words away, across the sleeping ocean, and somewhere, far beyond the horizon, another peaceful night quietly began. As you continue listening, allow your own thoughts to become as calm as the silver light resting upon the sea. There is nowhere to hurry, nothing to worry about, only this quiet lighthouse, this gentle moon, and the peaceful rhythm of another beautiful night. The moon climbed a little higher, and the quiet sea welcomed its gentle light. Elias remained upon the lighthouse balcony, resting both hands upon the smooth wooden railing. He was never in a hurry to return downstairs. Every peaceful night deserved a few quiet moments, simply to listen. The ocean was never truly silent. It always had something gentle to say. Soft waves rolled toward the island, then quietly slipped away again. Each one sounded almost the same, yet somehow, every wave carried its own quiet voice. Elias believed the sea remembered every traveler who had ever crossed its waters, every sailor, every fisherman, every lonely captain searching for home beneath the stars, not through words, but through gentle echoes, hidden inside the rhythm of the waves. Sometimes, on calm evenings like this, he imagined those old songs still floating peacefully across the water. Songs sung softly by tired sailors, long after the world had fallen asleep. He never tried to hear every note. He simply allowed the sounds to come and gently drift away, just as clouds drift slowly across the moon. A cool breeze passed through the lighthouse. It carried the comforting scent of the sea, mixed with pine trees growing upon the cliffs. Somewhere below, tiny waves touched the rocks, again and again, never growing tired, never asking for anything. Elias closed his eyes. He took one slow breath, then another. The lighthouse lantern continued shining across the dark water. Its warm, golden light stretched for miles, guiding every peaceful traveler through the quiet night. Far away, a small fishing boat appeared upon the horizon. Its little lantern flickered gently, like a tiny star floating upon the sea. Elias smiled. Somewhere, someone was safely finding their way home, and that simple thought filled the night with quiet comfort. Above him, thousands of stars shimmered softly. They reflected upon the calm water, until the sea looked almost like another sky. It became impossible to tell where the ocean ended and where the heavens began. The world felt wonderfully still, wonderfully peaceful, as though time itself had decided to slow down just for this quiet evening. If you are listening now, allow your own breathing to follow the gentle rhythm of the waves, slowly in and slowly out. Feel your shoulders become lighter. Feel your thoughts drift gently away, like tiny boats disappearing beyond the moonlit horizon. There is nothing you need to carry tonight, only the quiet sound of the sea, the warm light of the lighthouse, and the peaceful promise That morning is still far away. For now, the night continues. Calm, gentle, endless. Morning was still many hours away, and the island rested peacefully beneath the quiet moon. After watching the sea for a long while, Elias slowly descended the winding stone staircase. His footsteps were soft, almost silent, as though the lighthouse itself wished to remain asleep. At the foot of the tower, he opened a small wooden door. Outside, a tiny garden waited beside the sea. It was not a grand garden. There were no marble paths, no tall gates, no statues, only wild lavender, white daisies, gentle rosemary, and a few small roses that had learned to bloom beside the salty wind. Every flower seemed perfectly happy, growing quietly beneath the stars. Elias carried a small watering can. The water shimmered softly in the moonlight. One by one, he gave each plant a gentle drink. Never too much, never too little. He believed that kindness, like water, was most beautiful when given quietly. The night breeze carried the sweet scent of lavender across the island. Somewhere nearby, a sleepy rabbit appeared from behind a smooth gray rock. It paused for only a moment, its tiny nose twitching gently. Elias smiled, but said nothing. The little visitor did not seem afraid. After a few peaceful moments, it wandered slowly into the tall grass, disappearing beneath the silver moonlight. Above the garden, fireflies began to appear, one, then another. Their tiny lights floated gently through the cool air. They looked almost like little stars that had decided to visit the earth for the evening. Elias rested on an old wooden bench. The bench had faced the sea for many years. Its wood had grown smooth from sunshine, rain, and countless peaceful nights. He placed the small lantern beside him. Its soft silver glow mixed gently with the warm light from the lighthouse above. Together, the two lights felt perfectly at home. The sea continued its endless lullaby. Waves rolled quietly toward the shore, then drifted away once more. Where in the distance, a lonely seabird called softly before settling into sleep. The island grew even quieter. Elias closed his eyes. He listened carefully, not for something exciting, but for the simple beauty of an ordinary night. The whisper of leaves, the breathing of the sea, the gentle wind moving through the flowers. Every small sound belonged exactly where it was. And perhaps that is why the island felt so peaceful. Nothing tried to become something else. The waves remained waves. The flowers remained flowers. The moon remained the quiet guardian of the night. And Elias was simply grateful to be there. If you are still listening, allow yourself to rest beside him. Feel the cool breeze upon your face. Breathe in the gentle fragrance of lavender. Listen to the quiet sea, and let every peaceful breath carry you a little closer to a deep, comfortable, restful sun. The night grew even quieter. The stars shone a little brighter, and the sea continued its endless, gentle song. Elias remained sitting on the old wooden bench, holding a warm cup of tea between his hands. The steam rose slowly into the cool night air, then disappeared beneath the silver moon. He smiled. Nights like this never needed conversation. Silence was already saying enough. A few moments later, he heard the soft sound of tiny footsteps upon the stones, not hurried, not frightened, simply gentle. He looked toward the shoreline. There, resting beside the water, was a small gray seal. Its smooth coat shimmered beneath the moonlight. It blinked slowly, as though it had all the time in the world. Elias had seen this quiet visitor many times before. It always arrived alone, always after the moon had climbed high into the sky, and always left before sunrise. He never walked toward it. He never called its name. Instead, he simply offered a peaceful smile. The little seal rested upon a smooth rock, listening to the waves, just as Elias did. For a long while, neither one moved. The sea breathed softly. The lighthouse shone warmly. The wind carried the scent of lavender across the island. Somewhere high above, a shooting star quietly crossed the sky. It disappeared almost as soon as it appeared. Yet somehow, the night felt even more peaceful afterward. Elias closed his eyes. He imagined every wave carrying kindness across the ocean, from one distant shore to another. Perhaps someone far away was listening to these same waves. Perhaps another lighthouse stood beneath another quiet moon. The thought brought him comfort. He opened his eyes once more. The little seal was still there, calm, patient, peaceful. Then, without making a sound, it slipped gently back into the sea. A single ripple spread across the moonlit water, growing wider, softer, until the ocean became perfectly still once again. Elias whispered, "Good night, my quiet friend." The breeze carried his words across the water, and the lighthouse continued shining, just as it always had, just as it always would. If you are still listening, allow your breathing to become as slow as the gentle tide. Feel your body growing heavier, your thoughts becoming lighter. The sea is calm, the moon is watching, and the lighthouse keeps its quiet promise to guide every peaceful dream safely through the night. The quiet sea rested beneath the moon, calm, endless, peaceful. Elias remained beside the garden, listening to the gentle rhythm of the waves. The night air felt cool upon his face. Somewhere above, a small cloud drifted slowly across the stars, then another and another. Soon, the moon became wrapped in a soft silver veil. The world grew even quieter. Elias smiled. He knew what was coming. Not a storm, only a gentle rain. The very first raindrop landed upon a lavender flower, then another, softly touching the wooden bench beside him. Tiny drops began to fall across the island, one by one. There was no thunder, no strong wind, only the peaceful music of warm summer rain. The sea welcomed every drop without complaint. Small circles appeared upon the water, growing wider, then quietly disappearing. Elias slowly stood. He carried the little moon lantern beneath the lighthouse porch. The lantern continued glowing, its silver light warm and gentle. Rain whispered against the old stone walls. The wooden roof answered with a soft, steady rhythm. Tap, tap, tap. Every sound felt slow. Every sound belonged to the night. Elias poured another cup of warm tea. The comforting aroma filled the quiet room. He sat beside the window, watching tiny raindrops slide gently across the glass. Beyond the window, the lighthouse beam continued turning, slowly, patiently, sweeping across the peaceful sea. Somewhere far away, a small fishing boat answered with a single warm light. Safe, guided, never alone. Elias rested his hand around the warm cup. The fire beside him crackled softly, not loudly, just enough to fill the silence with comfort. Outside, the rain became lighter, slower, softer, until it sounded almost like a quiet lullaby. Elias closed his eyes. He listened. To the rain, to the fire, to the sea. 3 gentle songs, blending together into one peaceful night. If you are still awake, let the sound of this gentle rain wash away every busy thought. Feel your breathing become slower. Feel your body becoming wonderfully heavy. The lighthouse is warm, the rain is kind, and the quiet night continues to carry you toward deep, gentle rest. The gentle rain had quietly passed, leaving the island fresh, cool, and wonderfully still. Tiny drops of water rested upon every lavender flower. They reflected the lighthouse light, like hundreds of tiny silver stars. Elias slowly finished the last sip of his warm tea. He placed the empty cup upon the old wooden table. Then, he walked toward a small bookshelf standing beside the stone fireplace. It was a simple shelf, made from weathered oak, holding only a handful of old books. Most visitors would think they were ordinary, but one book was different. Its cover was wrapped in soft blue cloth. The edges of its pages had grown smooth from many peaceful evenings. Elias gently lifted the book. He smiled, as though greeting an old friend. Upon its first page, no title appeared, only a single sentence, written many years ago. Every quiet tide carries a gentle memory. Elias slowly turned another page. There were no adventures, no battles, no great mysteries, only small moments, carefully written down, so they would never be forgotten. One page spoke of a little sparrow that rested upon the lighthouse window one snowy morning. Another remembered the scent of wild roses after the first rain of spring. One page simply described a perfect sunset, orange clouds, calm water, a peaceful silence, nothing more. Elias believed that the smallest moments were often the ones that stayed longest in the heart. He slowly opened to a blank page. Taking an old fountain pen from his pocket, he dipped it carefully into a tiny bottle of blue ink. Then he began to write. Tonight, gentle rain visited the island. The moon waited patiently behind quiet clouds. A little gray seal came to listen to the sea. The lighthouse never stopped shining. Elias smiled once more. He closed the book gently. There was nothing else that needed to be written. Some memories were happiest when left simple. The fire continued its quiet crackle. Outside, the waves rolled softly against the shore. The night felt warm, safe, and unhurried. If you are still listening, imagine yourself sitting beside the fire, the old blue book resting quietly upon your lap. There is nothing you need to remember, nothing you need to plan. Only this peaceful evening, this gentle lighthouse, and the comforting sound of the endless sea. Allow every slow breath to carry you a little deeper into calm, into comfort, into peaceful sleep. The night was slowly coming to an end. The stars began to fade, one by one. A gentle blue light appeared above the eastern horizon. The sea remained calm, quiet, endless. Elias stood upon the lighthouse balcony, watching the first signs of morning. He took one slow breath, filling his lungs with the cool ocean air. The lighthouse lamp had guided ships safely through another peaceful night. Soon, its work would be finished until evening returned. Below, the waves touched the shore with the same gentle rhythm as they had for hundreds of years. A few seabirds quietly circled above the water. Their wings caught the soft golden light of dawn. Elias smiled. Every sunrise felt like a quiet gift, never rushed, never loud, simply arriving. exactly when it was meant to. He carefully carried the little moon lantern back inside. Its silver glow had almost disappeared, as if it were peacefully falling asleep. While the sun prepared to awaken the world, Elias placed the lantern on its old wooden shelf. He whispered, "Thank you for another peaceful night." The lighthouse grew wonderfully quiet. The fire burned softly. The sea continued its endless lullaby. Outside, the first fishing boat appeared upon the horizon. Its tiny light slowly faded. As morning filled the sky, another calm day was gently beginning. And as you listen, allow your thoughts to drift as peacefully as the morning tide. There is nowhere you need to be, nothing you need to do, only this quiet lighthouse, the endless sea, and the gentle promise that every peaceful night always welcomes another beautiful dawn. The morning arrived quietly. Soft golden light filled the lighthouse. The sea sparkled beneath a peaceful blue sky. Elias walked slowly to an old wooden desk. He opened a small drawer. Inside rested a bundle of letters, tied together with a faded blue ribbon. Most had been sent many years ago, but one letter remained. It had never left the lighthouse. Elias unfolded the paper carefully. The ink had faded slightly, yet every word remained clear. It spoke of calm evenings, gentle waves, warm tea beside the fire, and moonlight dancing across the sea. It was not a letter of sadness. It was simply a reminder that peace can be found in ordinary moments. Elias smiled softly. He remembered writing those words long ago. At first, he believed someone needed to read them, but over the years, he understood something different. Some words are written simply to bring comfort to the one who writes them. A cool breeze entered through the open window. The paper moved gently. Outside, seabirds glided across the quiet sky. Waves rolled softly onto the shore. Elias folded the letter once again. He placed it back inside the drawer and closed it gently. Then he stepped outside. The morning air smelled of salt, pine trees, and fresh lavender. Far away, a small fishing boat crossed the calm sea. Elias watched until it disappeared beyond the horizon. He whispered softly, "May every traveler find a peaceful way home." The sea answered with another gentle wave. The lighthouse stood quietly behind him. As you continue listening, let your thoughts drift away, like a small boat upon the calm ocean. There is nowhere you need to be, only this peaceful morning, the endless sea, and the quiet promise of another beautiful day. The afternoon slowly faded. The warm sunlight became softer, and long golden shadows stretched across the little island. Elias knew evening was quietly returning. He walked toward the lighthouse, carrying a small wooden box. Inside were the simple tools he had used for many years: a clean cloth, a tiny bottle of lamp oil, and a small brass key. Every evening, he prepared the great lantern with the same gentle care, never rushing, never skipping a single step. He climbed the winding staircase. The old stone walls felt cool beneath his fingertips. High above, the lantern room waited peacefully. Elias opened the glass door. A soft breeze drifted inside, carrying the fresh scent of the sea. He carefully cleaned each piece of glass until it shone like clear water. The first stars were beginning to appear, one, then another, quietly filling the evening sky. Elias poured fresh oil into the lamp. Then, with one gentle movement, he lit the flame. A warm golden light slowly filled the lantern room. It was never too bright, never too dim, just enough to guide every traveler safely through the night. Outside, the sea reflected the first light of the lighthouse. Tiny waves shimmered like silver ribbons. Far in the distance, a lonely fishing boat turned gently toward home. Elias watched quietly. He imagined the sailors smiling as they saw the familiar light waiting for them. The evening breeze became cooler. Somewhere nearby, a seabird called softly before disappearing into the fading light. Elias rested both hands upon the railing. He looked toward the endless horizon. The world felt wonderfully peaceful. There was nothing to hurry toward, nothing to leave behind. Only this quiet lighthouse, this endless sea, and another beautiful night. Ready to begin. If you are still listening, imagine standing beside Elias. Feel the cool evening breeze. Hear the gentle waves below. Watch the golden lighthouse beam, slowly turning across the peaceful ocean. Take one slow breath and another. Allow every thought to become lighter as the warm light carries you toward a calm, peaceful, and restful sleep. Tonight, just like every night, the lighthouse will keep shining until morning quietly returns.